Hey everybody, I'm uploading this video just to give different options for alternatives to carrying a firearm. There's lots of situations where you are not able to carry a firearm. If you work at a bar, a lot of bars won't let you have a firearm in your purse for ladies or men to have them on their hip. Discourages customers. If you work in a courthouse or any state building, you can't carry a firearm and you can't carry knives or anything. So we're going to go through some alternatives to having a firearm or a pistol on you when you simply aren't able to have one. First, tried and true, a knife. This is a spring assisted knife. The biggest issue, I actually got this online for like $10 off of eBay. It's actually a knockoff Joker knife. If everyone remembers the Dark Knight, the Joker used a similar knife. I didn't realize that when I bought it, but it was just kind of happy coincidence, and the geek in me got to have a little fake Joker knife. They're fairly cheap, easy to get to. You gotta be careful with spring-assisted knives because in some places they are not legal. Usually it's a city ordinance that makes them illegal. There are some states where they're not legal. In my state they're perfectly fine. This isn't the same as a switchblade because there's no button or spring that actually puts the knife out without any connection to the blade. The way these work is a portion of the blade actually sticks out when the knife is collapsed. Right there on this one. And you flip it up, you just touch it, and it pops it open. It still opens like a traditional knife, and it's perfectly legal depending on what your state's or city's laws are. This is actually the kind of knife that was at the center of the Freddie Gray controversy. At the Baltimore city level, they're not legal, but at the state level, there's no law against them. So that is why there was so much confusion over the Freddie Gray arrest, because he had a knife like this that opened like that, and Baltimore law was illegal. You can get a knife's a knife, in my opinion, if you're going to use it for self-defense. You're not using it often, so you're not talking about something that's going to wear out. So as long as it'll open up and be ready for you when you need it, it's perfectly fine and you're good to go. The other option is you just need a utility knife. They're great little knives to have. This, I think, is a 4-inch blade, collapses down to a total length of 8 inches. I like it a lot. It feels nice in my hand. It's got a little belt clip on it. It's got a lot of utility to it. The lock mechanism on it works very well. It's very sturdy. It doesn't move around at all once it's extended. Easy to clean, easy to sharpen. Alright, next item is called a Koga. I actually didn't know about these until I got online and started looking at them. They're basically a fist weapon. It'll harden your fist a little bit, but that's not really where its utility lies. It's in the pointed tips. They also make them in rounded tips to cause basically blunt trauma, for lack of a better term. My next video is probably going to be taking this to some coconuts to have some fun with them. It's made of compressed nylon, so basically it's a synthetic plastic that is basically smushed down to a high density. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not going to set off a metal detector. It probably would, honestly. They're going to see it inside of someone's coat pocket or on an x-ray inside a briefcase, so I wouldn't even try to take it anywhere where there's a metal detector. You shouldn't do it anyway. But essentially it's great for ladies if you're working at a restaurant that doesn't allow you to carry knives or anything else, because you can basically put it you can hold it in your purse, hold it in your pocket, and it basically, instead of doing this to the bad guy, just banging on him and it's not going to do anything, you got something with some meat to it that's going to cause some damage and discourage anybody from continuing any kind of attack on you. It was about, I'm going to say, maybe $7 or $8 on eBay. It was very inexpensive. This thing's not going to break. It's made of compressed nylon. It's very sturdy, and it's very simple. So you're not talking about anything. You can smack it, run, get out of danger, and go buy another one when you feel ready to buy another one. Definitely worth it. I like it a lot. Last thing, this is a utility pin. This can do a whole lot of stuff. It's got a great little clip on it like most pins do, but this one's made for a belt loop. The cool thing about it is it's made of a very high density aluminum. It's actually, oddly enough, even though it's not why I purchased it, it's a very nice writing pen. It's a twist open pen. Very easy to work with. The key thing on this is it has a little glass breaker on the top, which is also considered a self-defense weapon. So keep that in mind. This will break glass. I got to test it, but based on what it looks like compared to my other glass breaking stuff, it looks exactly like it should as far as how tight the point is. It'll break through a glass windshield if you're in trouble, if you lock your baby in the car, all the other emergencies we basically panic about. You're underwater, you're in a wreck, and you got to get out. The one thing I wish this had, but because it wouldn't be allowed in most government buildings, I wish I had a little knife to cut a seatbelt line with. But because that would be a blade, you can't often get these into, if you had a blade on it, you couldn't bring it into like a courthouse or a post office or anywhere else where they don't allow weaponry of any kind.
So yeah, this was $7 or $8. I'll put the links on the video once I get it uploaded. It's a very nice pen. If you like having a heavy pen anyway, get one, because honestly it's probably cheaper than my big expensive pen at like an Office Depot or something. But it's definitely a good writing pen. Got a lot of utility to it. It also works as a Koga, just like this, except it's a pen. You hold it the same way. You'll do the same thing. It's heavy enough to where it won't break on you. Just keep in mind that if you were to take this into a courthouse and they saw this on you, they might not let you bring it in. They might say, turn around, go put that back in your car, or they might even take it from you. So just keep that in mind when you're working with it. But other than that, it's a great little item. It's inexpensive. You can get them high priced up to like $60, or you can pay what I paid, which is $8 for this one. There's no reason to spend a ton of money unless there's something you just have a hankering for to own. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, you had a Koga, a utility pen, and a little spring-assisted knife. Have a good day.